Hi everyone, it's Promise Odera on again. Quite sunny here. Today I want to speak on the importance of strong systems. And in the concept of Nigeria, we are seen as a very lawless country, as a country where anything and everything goes. A country of nothing like impossibility, where if you have money, things will work in your favor, where anything can be changed. And this is the reason why we don't take anything seriously and why we don't even take ourselves seriously. And I think we need to look into how do we become a country of strong systems? How do we make sure that the government builds a system that everybody can trust, a system that is very robust, that can also work for the people and work for the government? And I'm saying this because there's a lot of issues in Nigeria. People try to call Tinubu a genius, a political genius, a master strategist that has never lost any election, and blah, blah, blah. Now, whereas it is very good to get into office or get into leadership, it is even better to solve the issues when you are in power or when you are in that leadership, more than it is important to get in it. Because if you get into leadership and you don't know how to resolve the issues that are facing you in that leadership, then you become a failure. Then what is the import of then getting into power? So if over the years that Tinubu has spent in politics in Nigeria as a governor, senator, and now president, if we are having the worst sort of tenure, I think it's imperative that we ask ourselves really if he is that political genius, as some people want to call it. Now, £1 when I came to this country back in 2010 was exchanged for 250 naira. Today, 14 years down the line, £1 is at today excess of 2010 naira to a pound. And that shows a very, very bad place that our economy is at. And it inhibits businesses from growing. It stops people from doing anything. It makes the economy very stale. And I've actually begged and begged and begged that they should release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu spoke against Igbo politicians, against Oyibo, against everybody. He was firing darts everywhere. He's not really supposed to hold the whole country to ransom. Release the man, so that the Igbos will start doing business, so that banks will start opening on Monday, so that this economic hardship will be alleviated. So I'm saying this to say, let us be pragmatic and less egoistic when we approach issues. Let us look at how to solve problems rather than prove a point that we are in charge or we are in power or what have you. I watched the podcast between the podcast hosted by Dr. Stephen Akintayo and the legendary Kanayo. And there's something that struck me in that 1 hour interview, right? He said that the reason why we have nepotism is because of the way we run Nigerian politics. Now, I have also listened to channels where Geoffrey Zono was speaking to Bayo Onanuga, sorry. And he asked him the same question of lopsided appointments. Now, why these things are issues, especially in Nigerian politics, as against what you see in other climes like UK and US, is exactly the answer that Chief KOK said. And he said, it is because of the way those in power play out their leadership roles. That is the reason why people want people from their side to have a taste of government. So, for example, what he said was that when Buhari was there, he was very polarized. He said he will look after the 97% than the other 3% that voted for him. And also, we saw what Tinubu is doing with his appointments everywhere. He's filled up with the Yorubas, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then when you play that type of politics, what happens is that the North will start saying, okay, for Nigerian interest's sake, we want our own person. Not because they want equal representation, but because they want somebody that will come and replicate what the other person has done, but this time to their own side. So in essence, what both Stephen Akintoyo and Jeffrey Zono was asking their guest was, why is it that appointments are based on ethnicity? Now, although Bayo Onanuga was trying to say you work with people you know, what Chief KOK said quite honestly is that if Peter Obi had won the election, Igbos might have lost more or would lose more, because he wouldn't be an Igbo-centric president. Rather, he would be a nationalist. And when asked that, the Igbos don't play politics properly, or, don't play politics of nationality, this is coming from Dr. Stephen Akintoyo, Chief KOK now explains that Zeke was a nationalist more than Tafawa Balewa or Awolowo, who wanted to have the secession clause. So again, we have to understand that Igbos don't know how to play tribal politics. If you watch even online and see the kind of problems or quarrels you have with socialites or people that are celebrities or whatever, you will see that most of them are from the south. And most of them, the North are fighting about their Emirati in Kano, but now they've decided to have subclass, second class and first class Emiratis, right, in Kano. But then you will see that people who usually fight dirty, call police on themselves, lock themselves up, are people from the south, southeast, from the south, basically. That's because it is in the nature of southern people and even Igbos to attack themselves. Another good example is when you check between I think 2007 and 2015 or so, when the Senate was zoned, Senate president was zoned to the southeast, a lot of them, we had about 6 or 5 Senate presidents from the east. They were just fighting themselves and removing themselves. And that's the typical Igbo man. A typical Igbo man will not follow you based on tribe. He will fight you if you're not doing something better. He will fight you if he believes he will do something better than what you are doing. And that is why Nigeria need to give Igbos. And that's why some people like IBB, some people like Obasanjo have said that for Nigeria to move forward, an Igbo man has to lead. Because we don't know how to do, oh, this person is our person, let him be doing whatever he likes. No. It is counterproductive. It is retrogressive. Now, coming back to my point, if you want to run a country, you must have strong systems. Whether those systems will work in your favor or not, you have to make sure for equity, fairness, and justice, you have strong systems. And one of those, what is a system? For example, a computer is a system. It's called a computer system. What is a system? A system is something which have been designed, developed, and completed to give you a particular purposed solution. Now, everybody should know what is expected of a system. A system is not supposed to be giving you different answers. It's supposed to be a particular answer at every given time. A system is something that everybody knows that this is obtainable from here. For example, if they say banks close at 4 or the banking system close at 4, it should remain closed at 4 regardless of who wants to use the bank 1 minute after 4. That is now a system. It is not something that's supposed to be flexible. A system is something that if you own a computer, you will know a computer will take this series of steps because it has been designed to do this. And then if you want to switch on, you have to hit the power button. If you want to close it, you have to, press the power button for it to shut down. So that is what a system is. Now, if you have an electoral system, your electoral system is supposed to be able to be clear to everybody that this is based on this, and this is based on this, and based on all of that, this is what we achieve. If you vote, you will get this particular result. If you don't vote, you will not get this particular result. That is a system. Now, unless you have clear purposed systems that are not how do I say, tampered with by instruments of government or whoever that likes to play with it. For example, that you're an incumbent government in the UK does not mean you win election. Nobody tries to win over the electorate by influencing those that will work on that day of the election. So that is a strong system. Do you understand? Another system that is worth giving example is, for example, let's say WAEC or NECO. It should be a system whereby once your exam is marked and crossed exam or cross-marked or cross-checked by somebody else, that result is authentic. Once a university gives you a certificate, it's authentic. Now, if you come to the UK, for example, and you go to university, you have a result, you could appeal that decision. The senate of the school will look into it, and once they approve, it stays that way. That is a system. And once you are given or issued that result, nobody can tamper with it. If tomorrow somebody says, did you go to this school? They can go back in record, and yes, it will be there. And if somebody that did not go to that school wants to claim alma mater of that school, you could check back and know that the system cannot be corrupted to accommodate that particular individual. That is the strength of a system. So when you know that if I drive fast on this road, this camera is going to snap me, and if this camera snaps me, I'm definitely going to get a ticket. And if I get a ticket, I have an option of paying at that initial age, or appealing or challenging it. And after challenging it, they will give me some time, and the same process applies to everybody. That is a system. So Nigeria needs to start building systems that will solve our issues. Educational system, power system, water system, postage system. Just build system, build institutions, build police system, build policing system, build military system, build everything to be systematic, not to favor you today and tomorrow you want it to favor somebody else. No, you have to build system that everybody understand that this is what is obtainable, this is what is obtainable, this is what is obtainable, and make sure that those systems are not changed, not even by people who are playing role in the system, not even by people who are working for the system. So you make sure that those systems applies to Nigerians for the betterment of Nigeria, and these are government systems that has to be trusted. If you are held by Federal Road Safety, for example, the system should be that if you are faulted, you have to go and pay your fine into the state account, not to pay bribe to the officers. And that should be a system. If police should ask you to park, that the system should be that if you don't have your complete papers, they should park your car there until you go and acquire the papers, and they should release it to you, or they make you pay a fine, not to bribe the police. That is a system. A system should be that once a policeman falters or do something, then they have to be court-martialed, or they have to pay the price, and that is a strong system. Until and unless there are very clear purpose outcomes for what systems should be in Nigeria, people will just be doing anything. I was happy when Geoffrey was asking Bayo that, listen, why is it that, what's your take that the local government autonomy has been granted, whereas, of course, INEC is not, going to be running those elections, and, governors can put their voice. And he said he agreed. He agreed that INEC should be running those elections. Now, I saw another interview on Arise on YouTube where, one of the senators said that the Senate are looking to pass that law for INEC to be given authority to run the local government elections. And that is what we expect. So we expect that governors should be devoid of implementing or putting those they like in the local government, so we can have strong local government systems. And with this point, I believe I've made my point, and I believe that if we start forming strong systems in Nigeria, Nigeria will start shaping for the better, so that everybody will know that there is justice across board, there is fairness across board, and there is equity across board. That regardless of who you are, if you commit a particular crime or if you want something out of the system, you are getting the same outcome or result. Thank you. Bye-bye.